Hey guys, this week we're heading to another new Thousand Trails campground for us. This is going to be our first time staying at Crystal Isle.
Hoping that they're open because I tried calling it right at 5 o'clock and that's when they close. I just got home from work and Chuck did not call, so I had to do it. Nobody was there. We're hoping they're open when we get there.
We have our site assignment. I mean, we did our online check-in, so we're supposed to be in site 213, so I would assume they're open. They did have the hurricane go through up there, so crossing our fingers. Otherwise, we're going to be turning around going home or trying to find another campground somewhere. Last minute. I think we might have learned a lesson here is the next time we decide we're not going to dump the black tanks before leaving on a trip, I think we should think twice because it smells like a poop box. When you come in, it is like, it's bad. We are flushing the tanks out. Thank God we have full sewer hookups here. Another lesson learned. We learn a lot of lessons. You'd think we would think before doing things, but no. Lesson learned, dump the tanks. Take the extra 15-20 minutes it takes and dump the tanks before you leave and go home and let it sit for 2 weeks. Well, more quality control. We've been having issues with this blind ever since we've gotten the RV, really.
Shade.
Well, yeah, it's a blackout shade. And it goes to this window. Generally, it just flops down and I have to spool it back up. Now it's just completely come unstuck from the ball.
It fell off. It was just laying
Our
on the
bar.
floor.
Yeah, I was just laying behind the couch there. Yeah. I reached up in here to pull the blind down. I'm like, what's this stickiness up here? The stickiness is what that was supposed to be stuck to.
I'm so thankful for this right now. It has been a week and a half. That's what it felt like, a week and a half, but it was really a week. But, oh my gosh, I needed a break and so thankful for this drink right now. So all you have is some stickiness. All we had to do was stick the shade on the stickiness.
All right, so just to follow up on the blind issue that we were having, we did get it fixed. We had to stop filming because it was just getting to be where I needed an extra set of hands with Allie. So I had to have her put down the camera and help me fix it. But we did get it fixed up there. Let's see how it does on this next trip if it falls down again. Hoping it won't, but we will see and we will let you guys know. Guys, so a little story last night when we got here to Crystal Isles and Crystal River. We pulled up after we checked in and was disconnecting the Bronco before I pulled around to the site. And as I'm pulling around, I'm looking and I'm like, why is Allie not following me? And so I pulled around here and as I could see back down the street, I could see that she was down there and she was having issues, and the guy at the guard shack there was trying to help her. So I jumped out, went down there. It turns out the emergency parking brake had engaged for some reason, wouldn't disengage. Had that happen a couple times, so it isn't anything related to the recent issues we've had, but I've never had it to where it wouldn't disengage. And Allie actually ended up pulling the hood latch instead of the electronic brake release, which no big deal. But so we went ahead and just got the RV parked, and then I went back down there and I was able to just jump in and put it in reverse. And once I reversed up a little bit, it released, and I don't know what's going on with that, but that was a little bit of a stressful situation after a long day of work and trying to get here and worrying if they were going to be closed by the time we got here, which they were.
So we woke up to some nice weather. It is happy fall, y'all. And look at me. I'm wearing a little jacket this morning. I can't believe it. We woke up at 70 degrees here. It's beautiful. And it's drier air. Loving it.
Don't let her jacket fool you. It's not that cool out, folks, here in Florida. But we did turn the air conditioner down to 60 degrees last night, so it's like an icebox.
And it was freezing in here.
Oh, yeah. But it does feel great outside, and we are so looking forward to getting some reprieve from the heat that we've had this summer. Also, we had a little stroke of luck last night, and we were able to book Vogel State Park for our anniversary trip, October 20th.
So excited.
Yeah, we had pretty much kind of planned on maybe just not even camping over our anniversary this year because we have a lot of camping trips. But when that came in through Wandering Labs, I jumped on it and we got it. And we're going to be in site number 3, which is Allie's favorite number.
Yep.
So it's like,
Meant to
can't
be.
wait. Can't wait. Hopefully there's some fall foliage going on by October 20th. I think there will be.
And so with this trip that we planned this weekend, my dad and stepmom Nori, they are actually coming up for the day. They wanted to see Homosassa. They'd never really seen the town before, and we're excited to see them. It's been a couple months now. Can't believe it was just the beginning of summer that they were camping with us. So.
Also, while we're here this weekend, I'm going to be reviewing a product sent to us that is a battery charger air compressor. Now, as I said earlier, I'm going to look at a jump starter air compressor combination unit that was sent to us by AdoreTrip. And this said would have been really helpful when we were up at Tillis Hill and we had our issue with the charging system on the Bronco. This would have been nice to have with us to at least get us jump started and get us back to the campground without having to get jumper cables out. So I'm going to test it out. I'm going to test out the functionality of the air compressor and just see see if it can actually add more air to our RV tires that hold, because they hold a lot of air. They're supposed to be around 110 psi. I will be surprised if we can go from what's in the rear right now at around 95 up to 100. That's what I'm going to try to do. So we got some instructions. We've got the battery jumper air compressor itself and a bag, and it feels like there's something in the bag, so I'm going to open the bag up and see what is in here. Probably the jumper cables. A pair of jumper cables, the air nozzle hose, power cable, 12 volt power cable, and the bag to keep it all in. Okay, so I've actually turned it on, and it's showing on the bottom, it has a little LED screen showing 75%. It has a 5 volt 1 amp and a 5 volt 2.1 amp USB. So I'm assuming that this you can charge your cell phones and whatnot off of it. Now, I haven't even looked at the directions yet. I'm just kind of looking the unit over, and you can set, it looks like here on the digital display gauge, just how much air pressure you want to go in. So I'm going to set it at 100, and we're going to hook it up to one of the back tires here that it has currently like around 95, and see if it bumps it up to 100. It also looks like it has flashlights, LED lights on the side here. So just kind of looking the unit over, the back of the unit, that's where the air nozzle is. So I'm just going to really quickly go ahead and thumb through the directions, make sure I don't damage anything and I'm doing things somewhat proper, and then we're going to test it out. We're going to put this thing through its paces and see what it can do, because it's very small, very portable. Okay, as I said, this tire has 95.5 psi. Let's go ahead and see if it pumps it up. Well, it does seem to be working. It's up to 98.5. It's pumping fairly quickly. 99, it's supposed to kick off automatically when it hits 100. So give it a couple more seconds here and see if it actually does kick off. All right, it didn't actually kick off, but it did seem like it stopped putting air in at that point. So I'm impressed that it was able to go up to 100 psi. So that's great. Let's try it on a Bronco wheel and see what it does here. All right, so it is saying that we have 30 psi, 30 to 31. It's still going up. Let's see. I think we're supposed to have about 35 in the Bronco. I'm going to turn it down to Let's go 33. Okay, so it does shut off automatically. I just didn't give it enough time on the RV tire to actually shut down. But that time it did, 33 PSI. So far, I would have to say, I do like the jump start, or the tire inflator. This is great. And it all folds up and back nice and neatly. I mean, this thing is small. It's great. We're down to 25% left, so I'm probably gonna have to charge this for a little while. And I don't know that there's gonna be a way that I can test the jump starting ability of it until we actually need it. So you hold down the power button and you get LED lights. Sure wish we would have had this, like I said, until it's still. This would have been so great. But this will actually be great when we need to air down our tires for off-roading and re-air them up. It does say to stop every 10 minutes to cool down the inflator for 5 minutes. All right, so I'm gonna go charge this up, get it up to 100%. It says it'll take about 6 hours probably, and we'll come back and I'll give you my thoughts on this unit. And so far, like I said, just for the tire inflator alone, I really like it. Testing the USB output here for charging. So it's actually a little power bank too, with a couple USB outputs. I'm charging my Apple Watch on it right now. Okay, so I let this charge up yesterday. She's up to 100%. I did charge my phone, and I actually charged this camera off of it. So works great as a little battery power bank. I'm gonna go ahead and check this tire here and go ahead and top it off to 100 PSI. So I'm gonna turn it up to 100. Okay, so this thing has worked great for topping off all of our tire pressures here and being able to just check our tires before we head out back on the road. I'm pretty excited to have this little unit and just be able to quickly check our tires and top them off before we head off on trips. I'm going to check it out on the battery over here just to see. I mean, obviously the Bronco is fine right now, but I'm going to give it a second to cool down, and then I'm going to check it against our battery as far as how it, what it does when you use it as a jump starter. 75% left, so topping off 3 of the 4 tires on the RV, which I did. The outside tire here and both front tires. Already did the outside tire on the other side yesterday, so 3 of the tires. It dropped it down 25%. It's not bad. All right, so let me let it cool down for a minute, and then I'll hook up the jump starter and see. Maybe it tells what voltage I'm getting from the battery. So I just plugged the little jumper cables into the side here where it plugs in. And let me hook these up and see what it's saying here. All right, so it's not really reading anything here. It's just still, with it on, it's still showing the PSI for the air compressor on this screen. It's still showing how much percentage I have left. It does say here, do not use as a jump starter if it's 25% or less. So I'm assuming that basically, if I needed a jump right now, that this would give me a boost. We're not gonna know that until we actually need a boost. And hopefully we never need a boost. But sure would have been nice, like I said, to have this when we had the issue with our alternator, and we did need that boost. But this is definitely going to be a tool we're going to keep in our toolbox here in the RV. Yeah, I think it's going to be handy. Number 1 as an air compressor. Number 2 as a little work light if we need it. And so, super impressed with this little unit so far. I wish there was a way we could test it as far as jumping the battery, but like I said, hopefully we don't need to, but if we have to, we have it, and we will use it, and we will try it, and we will report back at that point if it worked good for jumping. Works great for an air compressor. So we will leave an affiliate link in the description down below in the video if you want to look for one of these to pick up for yourself. We want to thank AdoreTrip for sending us this to test out and use and review. And I think there is going to be a special discount code link in the description below if you are interested in picking one of these up. Okay?
There's glitter in here. That's where Daddy
Is that because he wrote on it this morning? That's
I love it.
You said you were going to do the coffee bar thing?
Oh yeah, we are doing
Yes,
it.
we are doing it. This is exactly what I wanted.
Yay!
Awesome.
Yay!
Yes, and I wanted white and black like this.
Yeah, well, I
Yes.
knew white and black for your kitchen would be the best.
Yes, this is.
So yesterday, when Allie's dad and stepmom Nori came down, Jake and Nori, we ended up taking them down to Homosassa because I guess Nori had said she wanted to.
Yeah, Nori said that she had wanted to see Homosassa, so we decided to take them downtown.
And we ended up eating at the freezer for lunch. That was unplanned. We ended up kind of having just a little bit of shrimp because we ended up later, as you'll see, we ended up having shrimp in the RV. I boiled 6 pounds of peel and eat shrimp last night. First time in the RV we have ever attempted to cook something like that. Well, we made short work of that.
That was wonderful.
It was good.
And then we took them to see the Yulee Sugar Mill ruins, which are really a cool little historic thing in Homosassa, if you've never been.
It's small, but it's still neat.
Mm-hmm. And took them over to see Monkey Island, although the monkeys were not there this time. There was a sign up saying that the monkeys have been moved to somewhere in Brooksville, I believe it was, while the island is under restoration. They're doing some renovations on that island for the monkeys. So I guess they will be back. They're just not there right now.
Then we went to Crystal River and did a little bit of shopping.
Yeah. Crystal River's got a really cute little downtown. We actually like seeing the courthouse. The old courthouse there is like a museum now. That's something we want to come back and check out. It looked really cool.
We actually said it looked kind of like the Alamo.
Yeah, it looked like something from, like I said, San Antonio, Texas or something. Yeah, very Spanish looking.
So actually after we had our little excursion at Crystal Springs, we decided to head back to the RV to watch the Alabama football game.
It was a good game.
And we won.
It was a very good game. After that, we ended up having some visitors again. Brandon Christian came up and hung out with us for dinner, and that's where I cooked the shrimp that we were talking about. Mm-hmm. I have a new way of boiling the shrimp, and to me, they turn out almost as good as the freezer. Last night, not quite so much because I think I had a little bit of an issue keeping the water boiling enough. Trying to dump in too many cold shrimp at once kind of killed the boil. Probably should have let them cook just a hair longer, but at least they weren't rubbery. They were still tender, maybe a little too tender. So next time I'll know. All right, so this morning we're gonna do a little walk around the campground and just kind of take a look and see some of the other sites out here. They do have a lot of cabins here, which is nice. I don't know what the actual rates are on these cabins. I think it says in the paperwork, but I don't think any of them are in use right now. And I'm not sure if that's because of the recent hurricane, maybe, that they're not open. But it is a glorious morning and we're gonna go for a little walk. One thing we've noticed here at this campground, they do have a lot of these covered spots out here for these RVs, which is, I'm assuming full-time people, residents living here. Very nice. This is a really pretty little pond here at the campground. Very nice. It does say that there's alligators in there, so beware of the alligators. There are a lot of empty sites in here. One thing I want to touch on while we're here and filming is the fact that these Thousand Trail campgrounds that we have been enjoying over the last year and a half, you know, we've definitely made our money's back on it just from the Keys, the two key campgrounds in the Keys. But there are so many better campsites in here, and it's like when they give you a campsite with 1,000 Trails, it seems like they give you kind of, I don't know, I want to say crappy campsites.
But it's like, I don't know why we couldn't have one of these nicer sites back here. I mean, they're all empty.
And they're paved.
Yeah, and they're paved, lots of trees and shade, much better views. You know, you get lake views and all that kind of thing. But no, they give us a site that's just basically on some grass, you know. It's, I don't know. It's just, it seems like the Thousand Trails gives you, when these campgrounds, they give you the assignment, they don't give you a very good site. And I mean, when I was online booking, it said there was no premium sites available. So I had to take a standard site. Well, I'm assuming these are probably the premium sites, and I see a lot of sites available. So I'm not sure why that is. If you guys know why that is, if you've been with Thousand Trails longer than we have and understand it more than we understand it, you know, drop us a comment down below. But at this point, I'm not sure if we're going to keep it when the 2-year contract is done. I just don't know if it's quite worth it.
I like our state parks the best.
Yeah, we definitely like our state parks. And yeah, it's a little bit more expensive. The one benefit that we have doing 1,000 Trails is like we went ahead and booked tonight, even though we're not staying tonight. Allows us to basically, you know, stay as long as we want today and head home because we're only an hour from home. But we've done that before with state parks too, and we just paid the extra $30-40. So we got a pretty exciting news that we got booked for Vogel State Park while we were here camping this weekend. It popped up on our Wandering Labs. We jumped on it, so we're going to be spending our anniversary, which is October 20th, in North Georgia mountains, hopefully with some nice fall foliage. Pretty excited. We're going to go back to the RV, catch a little rest, and consider what time we're going to pack up and head out for the weekend.